Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has had its ups and some really big fucking downs, but personally, I think they're all kind of bad. There are some exceptions, like Iron Man, Avengers, and Infinity War, and Endgame was alright, I guess. But for the most part, I am extremely disappointed with the MCU and what it's become. I don't know about anyone else, but I feel like every film sort of meshes together. And I know your response will be, yeah, just because they're meant to build up to some greater story. But I mean it in a sense that I feel like I'm watching a copy and paste of the same fucking movie beat for beat that I saw an hour ago, but just with different characters. Marvel had perfected what we in the biz like to call, let's have the same formula for every superhero, giving them no unique qualities, and copy and paste this formula until we can drain some money from every Marvel fan's pocket because they will eat this shit up 10 times out of 10. Lengthy title. Let's run down why I don't like these films. For references, I always like to compare the MCU Spider-Man trilogy to the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. The thing I loved about Raimi's rendition is that Spider-Man was a new and fresh hero to be brought to the silver screen. So it was made with so much love and care because everyone involved in the project knew it was going to change superhero movies forever. The film had a natural progression from the cartoon and light-hearted world building that was used in 1966's Batman and implementing a more dark and serious tone while still maintaining a bit of that cartoonish element.
Oh, it's Strange Wrestler!
But I would like to touch on the seriousness of the Raimi trilogy. It was so impactful because Peter Parker was put before Spider-Man.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
And the overarching theme of all these movies was juggling between being normal Peter Parker and Spider-Man, shown mostly in Spider-Man 2, where Peter loses his powers. But Peter wasn't the only one with problems. There was such great world building in this trilogy. You had Mary Jane, who was struggling with self-confidence, trying to make it as an actress, but also working at a diner that she absolutely hated. Harry had an infatuation with the demise of Spider-Man, so much so it ruined his friendship with Peter because he took pictures of Spider-Man. Eddie Brock was an arrogant asshole looking to make it to the top and was willing to step on anyone to get to the top. These moments were not only pivotal moments in the franchise, they were taken so seriously with no fucking stupid comedic comment at the end of every scene, something that seems to happen every fucking scene in the new Spider-Man films.
You're the Spider-Man from YouTube.
Well, actually, every Marvel film nowadays.
Hey, it's Thor again. The God of Thunder? Listen, buddy, if you don't log off this game immediately, I'm gonna fly over to your house, come down to that basement you're hiding in, rip off your arms, and shove them up your butt!
If John Watts directed Spider-Man 2, the scene where Peter Parker sits down with Aunt May and they talk about the night Peter caught Uncle Ben's killer, it would be a 30-second monologue with a stupid joke at the end of the scene. Whereas the original scene was around a 3-minute monologue with no jokes and ended in silence. And there hasn't been a scene like that in the MCU, period. Or at least one that comes to mind. You could maybe say Cap and Penny at the end of Captain America Winter Soldier, but I don't really count that because it was building up to Cap's death. And I Love You 3000 wasn't really a monologue, whereas Peter's monologue was just two people talking with no build-up to anything. I think any Spider-Man movie is at its best when it explores Peter Parker more so than the webhead, because as great as Spider-Man is, all the relatability lies in Peter Parker, and Tom Holland's rendition is the worst at exploring this. All of Peter Parker's conflicts correlate with Spider-Man. For example, when the Vulture talks to Peter Parker in the back of his car before the school dance, revealing that he knows Peter is Spider-Man, that's not a Peter Parker problem. That's more of a Spider-Man problem, if that makes any sense. Also, Michael Keaton's performance as Vulture was so fucking good.
Shut the fuck up!
Another problem I have with MCU Spider-Man is that the side characters aren't as flushed out as the Raimi trilogies, seen mostly through MJ. Zendaya's MJ has no screen time to show what she's going through or what's going on in her life, which makes her character kind of shallow. She's just a girl that falls for Peter and gets saved by Spider-Man a bunch, leading to MJ knowing Spider-Man's identity because Peter does such a bad job of hiding it. That's a fucking terrible reveal. I would have loved to see the kind of problems that MJ faces throughout the series, to get the audience to connect with this side character. When Mary Jane finds out the secret identity of Spider-Man, it was so sudden and carried no emotional weight. Whereas MJ in Raimi's trilogy was so baffled in the first film on why a guy that's been crushing on her so hard says we shouldn't be together. And MJ's speculation continues in the second film, where she gets engaged to John Jameson, and Peter is absolutely heartbroken over it. Her speculation comes to a conclusion at the end of the film, where she sees Peter unmask himself to save Doc Ock. And she looks at him with this look of relief and understands why Peter turned her down in the first film. What's MJ just kind of finds out in the most cliche way.
Oh, why is Peter sneaking out at night? Where's Peter? He's missing out on Spider-Man versus the Water Monster. Oh, okay. Peter must be Spider-Man.
I find it so poorly done. Time to steer away from just talking about Spider-Man, which I actually think is one of Marvel's strongest characters moving forward. Well, him and Thor probably, maybe. Actually, I heard the new movie sucked. Never mind. Let's talk about the quantity of MCU films. Marvel have gotten to the point where they want to shove every fucking character that Stan Lee has ever made into some spin-off film with an open-ended ending to tie it in with another character that no one gives a shit about, or a TV show that drags out an existing character's story that leads to a whole lot of nothing. Come on, be honest. Who gives a flying fuck about Scott Lang, who has 2 solo movies, by the way, or She-Hulk? Fuck is She-Hulk gonna bring to the table? How many characters she can sleep with within the 2 seasons it will air? That was meant to be a joke, but turns out it's actually going to be a character trait of hers, I think. I don't know, I'm never going to watch it. I heard she twerked with Megan Thee Stallion. What the fuck, Marvel? Let me be clear, this is not having a dig at the actors who play them, because they are some phenomenal actors, and I'm a big fan of most of the actors and actresses involved in the MCU, but these characters serve little to no purpose in the long run, leading them to be bland and similar to other characters that have already been established, which makes you wonder, why include this character in the first place? The thing that sucks is there will be a new character every single year. Hey, remember Thor, The Dark World, where there was that one character in the background of that one scene? Yeah, well, that character's brother's friend's girlfriend's mum's mailman is getting a spin-off where he gets bit by a radioactive envelope and gets superpowers. They call him, I don't know, fucking mailman. That's how I see the MCU nowadays. The thing I find worst about all these phases and shit is that nothing that has been done up to this point really matters, because it can just be retconned in some bullshit movie like The Multiverse of Madness. Hey, remember Charles Xavier when he died in Logan? Well, here he is in a different dimension, where he's not dead. Any of the X-Men who are for sure dead? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Pump the brakes there, buddy. They're all right here, just in a different dimension.
I got a feeling.
Iron Man? More like, let's resurrect him in case the MCU goes to shit. Man. It's sloppy, and it shows that Marvel have no faith in their characters moving forward, which will lead them to bring back old characters, to bring back old fans when the cash flow gets low. They've already done it with No Way Home. Lastly, I want to talk about the decline in quality of these films, not so much in its rich storytelling, because that's almost non-existent nowadays, but more so the visual effects. I know I'm not the only one who thinks Marvel's special effects are near dog shit now, considering that they usually have a squillion dollar budget, but my god, what the fuck is that? And that? And that? Look, Hulk has gone from this to this. And you Marvel brown noses are gonna say,
Oh, you're an idiot. He's meant to look like that because he's learned to control his anger.
and I say, yeah, sick. Still looks like shit. Not only do I hate the idea of turning one of Marvel's most dangerous and uncontrollable characters into a comedic bit, but I also hate the fact that he's able to control his anger to the point he can be happy and laughing, but still in Hulk form. It makes no sense. When he's angry, he turn green. When he not angry, he turn human. It's always been like that. I can just see some nerds in the comments saying, in issue 234, he actually learns how to control his power, and Bruce and Hulk find this sort of middle ground, and that's what they've done in these movies. Shut the fuck up. That's not how everybody knows Hulk, and that's how nobody wants to know Hulk. Marvel have turned into a universe that is allergic to having a serious moment, apart from maybe Love You 3000, and it sucks. You could argue that they're wacky and funny in the comic books as well, and to an extent that is true, but I would counter-argue with there are just as many serious, even dark themes to rival these comedic moments, and for the most part, Marvel just want to get rid of these serious moments. Marvel saw the excess and the fun to come from Guardians of the Galaxy, which is probably the only heroes, maybe apart from Deadpool, it really works for. And Marvel said, fuck it, all of our movies from now on are going to have the same tone, which leads to every Marvel release being very underwhelming. Oh wait, I also want to clarify that these aren't the worst films to ever be made. I think they're just putting less and less love and effort to create something great because they feel like they don't need to. And people who are diehard fans of these films gas them up, acting like every film is some sort of masterpiece, where I think maybe only 3 of them are really good, and the rest I would just throw to the wayside. And on the flip of the coin, I don't think a handful of the Marvel movies that came before are masterpieces either. The difference is that no one says Daredevil or Elektra are some of the best superhero films ever made, unlike MCU fans who think they can do no wrong. Like, I read an article about a Marvel fan defending that Morbius, Thor the Dark World, and Eternals were incredible and played a pivotal part in the MCU, which just isn't true. Stop kidding yourself, they're absolute snooze fests. No, I'm just kidding. If you like these films, you like these films. I'm just some twat who disagrees. You're allowed to be wrong, and in this case you are. I'm just joking, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's all I really got on the MCU. Kind of relieved that this video is over, because I'm not watching another fucking MCU film. I think my last one was No Way Home, and I think I'm gonna stop there. Oh wait, when did Multi Madness? But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you feel compelled, ring that bell. Hope you guys enjoyed. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one.